Alright, so have you ever wondered you can actually be part of a company and then earn a revenue, or let's say a share of their revenue, without you actually owning the whole company? Today we are going to be discussing shares, precisely MTN shares. We are going to look at the benefits and then how you can actually invest in MTN shares if you want to. Now, this video is not a financial advice, but for educational purposes. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Abigail Ford and this is the Degree Tech House. Now, when we are talking about shares, we have two key benefits you're going to gain when you invest in shares. We have what we call the capital gains, and then we have dividends. Now, when we talk about capital gains are like, when you buy a portion of the shares in the company, and then after some period, you decide to sell your capital, which is the number of shares you have, to gain, revenue. The money you get or the revenue you get is what we call capital gains. Now, let's talk about the dividends. Dividends, as the name goes, is a portion, or let's say the divisions of the revenue given to people who have like shares in the company. And so let's say you own 50 shares in the company, right? And so after the year, when the revenue is being cut into pieces, you're going to get, let's say, a portion of the share according to the number of shares you own in the company. So that revenue or that money is what we call dividends. So just like I said, the benefit of MTN shares comes in constant dividends, and then you selling your capital to gain money, right? Now, MTN is a company we all know. In every year, their revenue increases, right? And so if you're investing in such a company, you are sure that after a year, 2 or more, you're going to get your money back. You're going to have more interest in your capital, or let's say the money you invested in the company. Now, MTN have what they call the script dividend investment plan. Now, this is a plan they have for customers, or let's say people investing in the company. When the year goes to an end and then they're sharing the dividends, you can decide to actually, take your dividend, or let's say your revenue, in the form of shares rather than in the form of money. So that is the script dividend investment plan. So now let's assume you have 100 shares as capital in MTN, and then after the year, when you get, let's say, additional, let's say 500 Ghana cedis or 1,000 Ghana cedis, or let's say 2,000 Ghana cedis as your dividend, you can actually use that 2,000 Ghana cedis to buy a different number of shares equivalent to the money, and then receive that shares in addition to the previous shares you had, so that you can actually have more shares instead of taking the dividends in money. Now, if you look at MTN shares on Ghana Stock Exchange or the Ghana stock market, it has actually been performing well. In 2018, 2019, where MTN actually introduced their MTN shares, it sold for 0.75 Ghana pesos, which is less than 75 pesos, right? Not even close to 1 cedi then. But now looking at it, it has actually, rise from that amount to 2 cedis, 37 Ghana pesos, right? And so it has been performing well. So imagine you actually invested in the MTN shares way back in 2018, which you're actually going to buy like a share for 70 pesos. Now you are buying, or let's say you are selling that share you bought for 70 pesos for 2 cedis, 37 Ghana or 35 Ghana pesos, right? That's a whole lot of money you have made on a single share. You get me? So MTN has actually been performing well if you check on the Ghana Stock Exchange or the Ghana stock market. Now, this is to tell you that it is actually a good company to invest in when you want to actually invest in shares. One thing is you can actually withdraw your investment anytime you want. But then one thing is, when it comes to investment, it's a long-term something, or let's say a long-term thing. You cannot invest in something and expect it to actually yield profit in the next day, the next month, or let's say within a few periods. You actually have to wait for a longer period before you can actually go in and then withdraw your money or withdraw your profit. And so you have the freedom to actually withdraw. But then the advice is you have to leave it for some years before you can actually make the amount you want to make. Okay, so now if you want to actually buy MTN shares, or you want to actually invest in MTN shares, this is what you have to do. You need an account to actually trade in shares, and then before you can get that account, you need a broker. And then in Ghana, most of the banks serve as brokers when you want to actually invest in shares, right? So you can actually walk into most of these banks or any bank and then tell them you want to invest in, let's say, MTN Ghana shares, right? They are going to manually fill the forms and then create the account for you. But then there's another way you can actually do it on your own by yourself. Now, the app you're going to use is IC Wealth app. It's on the App Store and then it's on the Play Store. So you can actually download IC Wealth and then create an account. And then when you're done creating the account, that is where you will need a CSD account. Now, this CSD account is the account you're actually going to hold your investment in. So before you can get the CSD account, you need a CSD number. And so the IC Wealth will actually contact CSD people to create your CSD number and then your CSD account for you. Now, this period actually takes time. It's going to take, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks before you can actually get your confirmation number, or let's say your CSD number, to have access to your CSD account. Now, this is the reason why it actually takes that long. They actually have to verify that the information you are giving out, is it really, credible? Are you actually the person you are claiming to be, right? So they will need to actually verify that you are who you are claiming to be before they give you the access to create the account and trade in the shares you want to trade. Now, the IC Wealth is not really only for the MTN. You can actually, use that to access plenty of, the shares, or let's say the companies on the Ghana stock market. But then our priority right now is the MTN shares, right? Which is what I am talking about now. So investing in MTN shares is more than just owning stocks, right? It is a way to, build your income and then, build your investment. So as I said, it's not a passive income. It is a long-term investment you can do and then actually make money out of it. Now, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then comment anything you don't understand. If it is necessary for me to make a video to explain, I am actually going to do that for you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is The Biggest Ford. This is Degree Tech House. See you again.